Okay, I think we will go ahead and get started. Thank you all for coming tonight, showing up, logging in tonight. I was thinking a little bit earlier that it's a good thing that we're having a Zoom meeting tonight because otherwise we would have had to cancel it because of weather. So, here we
Yeah.
but yeah, thank you all for coming. If you don't know who I am, if I've not met you yet, I'm Megan. I'm the president of the chapter. I saw Tim is on with us. He's a board member. I think Kevin was on as well. Kevin, he's a board member. Ariel is our vice president and treasurer. Kevin is our secretary. That's all of other board members include Dr. Nemunitis, Kewen King, and Jill Gerson Parker. Let's see, next. Okay, so just a couple of rules. Whenever we start with our speaker, please mute yourself. It'll just cut down on a lot of the background noise and interference. But anytime that there's a question during any Q&A portion, please unmute yourself to ask any questions that you may have. If you are new to Zoom, the mute and chat buttons are at the bottom. The mute should be the farthest to the left, and the chat is the first one, kind of like in the middle, or at least that is on mine. We do still have some disposable care packages left. If you received one and you're out of supplies, if you've not received one yet, email Ariel. There's her email address, and then after I am done with all of the announcements, I will copy and paste her email address into the chat box. So if you need to copy and paste that, it'll be there. The disposable care packages, if you can't really see the picture, it's gloves, and you do get to pick your size as far as supplies are here. Once we get down to the end, then it'll be whatever we have left. But it'll have gloves, some disposable masks, sanitizing wipes, and hand sanitizer. So that's and then it's all comes in that nice little Metro Health tote. The chapters still have emergency preparedness starter kits left. If you have not received one, there is a Google form. Again, I'll put that link in the chat as well. These are just one per person. So if you have already received it, please don't ask for another one. We will be checking. We want to make sure we can spread these out as far as they can go. But if you have not received one and you do live within 50 miles of downtown Cleveland, or you're willing to come pick it up from the old Brooklyn campus of Metro Health, you can have one. We just aren't shipping them anywhere. And then as far as our connected peer mentoring program, we are still building our bank of mentors. So if you are interested in becoming a mentor to help somebody else, there will be a Google form in the chat, or you can write down those links there. I know they're not the prettiest, but if you want to become a mentor, there's a form. Or if you are a newly injured person, or if you are just going through a rough time that you would like to speak with somebody, we have a Google form for that as well. And again, it'll be in the chat. Okay, if you are not already a member of the United Spinal Association, like the national, you can join by heading to unitedspinal.org. And then one of the options at the top will be membership form. You would choose us, the Northeast Ohio chapter, as like your affiliate. And then you're good to go. Membership's free, and you will get a copy of New Mobility magazine every month. You have access to the resource center advocacy updates, more peer mentoring, and a ton of other resources that would take me a long time to cover them all. If you haven't connected with us on social media, here's the slide to do so. Our Facebook page is the most active. I post all of the chapter meetings, any research opportunities, any other like requests that we get. It all goes up on Facebook. And then we upload each of these monthly meetings to YouTube. So if you would like to watch previous meetings, it is on YouTube. All right, so let's get started. I will be posting, again, all of the links and email addresses into the chat box. Tonight, we have Lizzie Goldsmith from the Adapted Sports Program of Ohio with us, here to talk with us about who they are, what sports they offer us, and how we can get involved. So thanks for joining us tonight, Lizzie.
Awesome, thank you for having me. I do have a PowerPoint to share if we're able to share screens. Not sure how that's done.
You should be able to, since I made you a co-host.
I'm not sure how to do that. Which is fine. I don't need to pull it up if not.
I'd say there should be like something right in the middle of the bottom that says share screen.
Yes.
Once you click that, another window should pop up, and you would select which screen has your presentation on it.
Okay. So it says one participant can share at a time or multiple participants.
Click the like box, not the arrow.
Oh, there we go. Thank you. Okay.
Perfect.
There we go. Okay, well, again, my name is Lizzie Goldsmith. I am with Adaptive Sports Ohio in Cuyahoga County. We are a nonprofit that provides sports for people with physical disabilities, and our mission is to remove barriers to ensure that individuals with physical disabilities have a chance to play, utilize sport to elevate ability, and empower futures. We are located in Worcester, Ohio. That's where our headquarters are. We started in 2009 and since have added satellite offices in Youngstown and then most recently in 2020, Cleveland. So now we have programs in Cleveland. Adaptive Sports.
In fact, Worcester is where I grew up.
Oh, yep. That's where headquarters are, have main office there and everything. Yep. So adaptive sports really just means taking the typical sport and modifying it by adding either a piece of equipment or a rule. In order to play in our adaptive sports, you must have a physical disability that limits your ability to participate in typical sports. For example, spinal cord injury, spina bifida, amputee, visually impaired, cerebral palsy, scoliosis, and others as well. And it is important to know that even though many of our sports have wheelchair in the name, you do not need to be wheelchair bound 24/7 at all. So if you just have, like I said, the slightest disability or like they can't play typical sport, I don't want the word wheelchair in the name to scare you off that you can't participate. And we are different from the Special Olympics, which is geared towards the intellectual disability. So those are 2 points to note as well. And then our main focus is to get people out there being physical, play sports. It's important to know the numbers of statistics of why it's so important. In the United States, 1 in 5 individuals have a physical disability, and specifically in Ohio, 1 in 6 individuals do. Obesity rates for adults with disabilities is 58% higher than those without. and individuals with disabilities are 3 times more likely to be inactive versus their non-disabled peers. And persons with disabilities experience substance abuse rates 2 to 4 times higher than the general population. And furthermore, that benefits of staying active that we strongly agree with the CDC is improving overall mood, higher self-confidence, improved cognitive function, weight maintenance, strengths of bone and muscles, reducing pain, increasing lifespan, and enhancing the quality of life. Like everything else going on right now, COVID has kind of switched our gear, and we've created guidelines to help keep everyone safe. Outlined by the CDC, we created our own return to play guidelines that keep participants and staff safe. We're keeping you safe by we have, as staff, have taken COVID-19 training and risk mitigation. We will be wearing facial coverings and are doing symptom monitoring of ourselves, as well as symptom screening and monitoring of all participants. We disinfect every piece of equipment before and after use, ensure that there is 6 feet physical distance going on, as well as notification provided if we do hear of a report of a participant of exposure post-event, and as well as because we do have competitive teams that travel, monitoring out-of-state restrictions before any travel for tournaments. And then there is a separate COVID-19 waiver that is required to be signed. Again, participate in that symptom screening and to report any exposure that you might have had to COVID-19. Practice physical distancing and maintain 6 feet between another person. The only time that can be allowed is if it's in the rules of the game. No physical contact between staff. So if you need to have caregiver come to help move from chair to sport chair or hockey sled, that is allowed. And then face shields are required. We provide a covering for whether, depending on the sport, the type of face shield. So we require that as well. The 2 types of sports that we offer are interscholastic, which is school-based, and then community-based sports as well, which is more on the recreational side. Our recreational programs are free of charge, while our competitive sports require a fee to participate after the first year. But throughout the year, we do provide fundraising opportunities to help with those costs so that everyone can participate. And it's also important to know that we provide every single piece of equipment for every sport that you choose to participate in as well, which is awesome. So the first sport we'll talk about is sled hockey. It is played with 6 players, including a goalie, at a time, and it follows similar rules to typical ice hockey. For the sled, players propel themselves on the sled by using spikes on the end of 2 of their sticks. We have a great program in Worcester, established in Worcester, Youngstown, and Toledo, and we have our brand new program in Cleveland. So if you are interested in giving sled hockey a try, we are going currently till the end of March. Every Sunday, I can send you information on that up in Cleveland. If you are interested, we would set up a time for you to come to my office and get fitted for a sled, all your equipment, so that when you arrive to the first practice, you are all set to get on the ice. Power wheelchair soccer. It is the first competitive team sport designed specifically for power wheelchair users. It's important to know that you don't have to be in a power wheelchair to participate. That is just the wheelchair that is used for the sport. It is 2 teams of 4 players that attack, defend, and spin kick a 13-inch soccer ball, attempting to score on a goal. So it's the same material as a typical soccer ball, just bigger. We have established teams in Worcester and Youngstown, and we do plan to provide this sport in Cleveland as well. Wheelchair basketball, the rules almost mirror stand-up basketball. The primary difference is that players are allowed 2 pushes of the wheel before a travel is called. So if you have a ball in your lap and you push and you can one time and you can go all the way down, you get 1 more before you have to dribble or shoot. So that's the main note to be aware of the difference. Prior to this year, we had 6 interscholastic teams. Due to COVID-19, a couple did choose to not participate, but those are within our school-based teams, grades 1st to 12th grade, they play. There's a state championship. as well. And then we also have drop-in programs, which is more of like an open gym in Worcester, Cleveland, and Youngstown. Wheelchair rugby, it's 2 teams of 4 compete trying to carry a ball across the opponent's goal line. For this, athletes must have a disability that includes some loss of function in at least 3 limbs. This is not offered in Cleveland. We are offering it in Worcester. So if you are interested, I can get you in touch with the program manager that can talk you through how to get involved with this sport. Wheelchair tennis, it follows generally the same rules as able-bodied tennis, except again, 2 bounces of the ball, or if you need it before having to return the ball over, you are able to hit it in 1, but 2 is the max that you're allowed. We have programs in Worcester, Cleveland, and Youngstown. And this summer we had our first ASPO Open, where we gave our athletes a chance to kind of be competitive as our first sport back during COVID, where we were able to provide some sort of competition for them. The winners got a trophy, so that was super exciting for them to kind of look forward to a competition. Wheelchair softball, it's played on a hard, smooth surface like cement or a blacktop and follows the rules of 16-inch slow pitch softball. The game is played with a ball that's softer than the typical softball. So players can decide based on their own preference if they would like to use a glove or not when in the outfield. And we will have programs this summer in Cleveland, Worcester, and Youngstown. Track and field, the Paralympic track and field rules are almost identical to their non-disabled counterpart. There are certain allowances that are made to accommodate certain disabilities, though, that is important to note. And then in June of 2012, OHSAA announced the decision to include wheelchair competitors at the high school state track meet. So in 2013, it was the first year that wheelchair racers were competing. Hand cycling, it's designed to include multiple physical disability types, not just wheelchair users. There are many different types of hand cycles that can cater to multiple disabilities. We have 4 different types right now, but we hosted multiple hand cycle clinics in Cleveland this past summer and fall, and we'll continue to do so once the snow stops and we're able to go outside and not freeze. So those are very relaxing, and even some of our toughest competitive athletes love coming out to just kind of relax and get a good ride and good workout in. We also do offer a summer camp. It is called Dream Camp. It's an overnight camp where attendees participate in adaptive sports like wheelchair basketball, wheelchair softball, kayaking, swimming, track and field, high ropes, and we offer other games as well as campfires. It will be this summer. We did not host it last summer, but it's for youths aged 7 to 18 with disabilities. Students enrolled in high school that are 18 or older are eligible to participate. And again, we provide all of the equipment needed. However, if you do have a piece of equipment that is your own, you're welcome to come and bring it. So if you are interested in attending Dream Camp, please do let me know and I can send you that information as well. And then this is my contact information and all of our social media handles. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you are interested in finding out more information about any of the sports provided that I just listed, or if there's another sport that you're interested in. It might not just be one of our main sports that's listed, but something that we can talk through with you as well. So I hope to see some of you at some of our sports soon. Thank you.
Yes, good.
Awesome. Anybody have any questions for Lizzie?
Yeah,
Yes.
I do.
All right, Jill, go for it.
Are there any age limitations?
No, not at all.
Okay, what about swimming?
So swimming, we considered having, then obviously COVID came, so we kind of stopped those talks. I don't have any exact details on swimming when we will offer it and if we will, but I can get that information and get it to you when we do.
Oh,
when I do
great.
know.
That would be great.
Yes. And Megan, if you want to send out my contact information so people have it. I know it's kind of hard to take a a clip of this if you're using your phone or something like that, but you can send out my information as well. So if anyone thinks of other questions or anything, they can definitely reach out.
Absolutely. I will be sending out a replay of this by the end of the week. So I will include your contact information in that email.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah, so about these sports, are there any way to practice them? Like,
Yeah.
you have places we can practice them in the meantime?
So we have, obviously, depending on the season. So right now we have sled hockey going on once a week
Ooh,
that you're able to come out. And even if it's just one, to come out and try it once to see if you like it, you're able to do that. So we would have set kind of practice dates and times for each sport.
Okay, so hand cycling, that's only in the summer?
So that I'm hoping, don't have an exact date, but April, May, maybe into June, just depending on the weather and everything, we'll have clinics throughout that I can let you know. And we have multiple hand cycles that come on a first come, first serve basis. So it would be like an RSVP type thing, just because we don't want to have 12 people show up for the limited number of bike, but would make multiple sessions of clinics as well for that. So yeah, something we can get you information on.
I never played sports growing up. Did I not play sports if I don't even know the rules?
We would go over everything. So we would go over every piece of equipment for you. Like for example, sled hockey, just using that as an example because that's what's going on right now. If you're interested, we'd set up a time for you to come to my office and we'd get you fitted for the equipment. So we'd go over all the equipment for you. And then at your first session, we would also kind of go over everything for you to learn.
Where's your office again?
It's in Warrensville Heights.
Where's that?
Right off of 271 and Cedar.
Ooh, that's pretty far. Okay. It's not, I'm in Cleveland Heights. It's actually not that far. Right?
Yeah, I live in Cleveland Heights, so not too far. It's probably 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't drive, but I'm working on my arcade for transit is expired. So yeah, it's not that far. Yeah.
Yeah, and we can, and said, I can get your information, can send you details once we get the hand cycling finalized.
Thank you.
Yes.
There's a question in the chat about hand cycling. Is there a group in Youngstown?
So we do have my same position. We have that in Youngstown. I'm not 100% sure if we'll be offering hand cycling there, but if there is interest, I can talk with my coworkers and see if that's something that we can get set up.
Any other questions for Lizzie? Okay, well, if you want to, typing, we might be getting a question.
Okay.
Oh, she's interested in a hand cycle program in Youngstown. How many participants do you need?
I can follow up with you individually to talk with that to see kind of exact details and can go on from there, if that works for you. If you're able, Megan, if people give consent to send me their contact information, if you could send me their contact information, I can follow up.
Okay.
And then Elizabeth, I can also get you in touch with our Youngstown program manager, if that's closer to where you live.
Okay. Well, thank you for presenting tonight. I
Thank you.
know that ASPO had that many programs. It's awesome to see how
Yeah.
much you guys have expanded since the last time I really heard about you guys.
Yes, no, it's awesome. And we're always looking for more to get more athletes out there to see what kind of the interest is. We want to be able to provide sports that are interesting to people, not just only a couple that they're only options. So we're very open to discussing different sports and interests to grow the program.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
Have you ever thought of adaptive sports like scuba diving by chance? I know that's a little crazy, but
I have not. That has not been something we've discussed, but if that is something you're interested in, I can kind of do some research and see where that can be available for you.
yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yes.
Okay, so what if like I would be interested in like wheelchair basketball and I would get fitted for a chair, but I realized I suck at basketball. Like, could I just turn in my chair back to you guys?
So if you want to just make sure I understand the question, if you want to come play basketball, how would you get fitted for the chair?
Yeah, like would they fit me? And then I realize when I'm playing, like
We
not
we
for
would
me, so
we would transport all the equipment. So for basketball, it's a little easier. You don't really have to do a fitting because for sled hockey, it's more size specific. Where for basketball, we will have multiple size chairs at each session. So that's not really something that you'd have to get essentially fitted for ahead of time.
okay.
But we would transport all the equipment, so you wouldn't have to worry about taking it with you or bringing it back. We would do all that for you.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yes.
Have you ever thought about short people's basketball or anything like that? Any adaptive sports for us short people?
In,
And
in terms of like in the wheelchair or out of the wheelchair?
either one.
So we only just really talk about wheelchair basketball. That's really about it. Kind of depend. We have very different sizes of our athletes, so that was never really kind of past the conversation of wheelchair basketball.
What about cross country skiing? Have you thought about doing any of that?
So we don't offer that, but there is another organization locally that I can connect you with that does.
Wow, that'd be great. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, cross country
About
skiing would.
poles.
Yeah, I think cross country skiing would be
Yeah.
a great link to provide. I think that would be great for most people that are in wheelchairs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
As far as
yeah, and I
upper
can
body.
send Megan over that information for that organization that does skiing. That's just something we offer, at least not right now.
Anybody have any other questions? Snowmobiling?
We might need that after tonight.
I live right off the Greenway Trail up in Ashtabula, and you can snowmobile on that as long as you don't have cleats. It's a 60-mile paved where a railroad track used to be. It is incredible, and there's all kinds of snowmobile trails going off of it. It's great.
Can you ski on it at all?
I used to cross country ski on it.
You
I
can.
think yeah, of course you're allowed to. Yes,
Oh,
yes. It's called the Western Reserve Greenway Trail.
okay.
You
It
said
would
there
look really
was adaptive kayaking, correct?
So we do have that at our dream camp. We don't have it as a specific program right now.
So there's like a lake at that camp or something, or
Yeah.
I'm just wondering where you go out, what type of body of water.
Yeah, I to be honest, I haven't been to it just because we didn't have it this summer, but there is a lake body of water that is used at the campsite.
Very cool.
Yeah.
How do they adapt the kayaks?
Oh,
Ooh. I do not have the exact answer to that question, to be honest. But I can definitely get that information to you.
Yeah,
Megan can tell you.
I went kayaking with my county. They used to offer kayaking for the disabled people. And it took over 2 to 3 hours to fit me for the kayak. They took foam blocks and they did everything in their imagination
Oh,
to fit me for the kayak. It took almost 3 hours. And then they put my initials with tape on the kayak because nobody else was using that. It took forever and a lot of imagination and whatever parts and pieces they had available.
Did you have fun at least? Did you
Yeah,
have
I went
good?
kayaking in the pool and then we went in the water in the river. Now they haven't offered anything for handicapped people because of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I also took golf at what's that place? The Turn. It's down in Cuyahoga County, I don't think. I forgot where it is, but they had golf for you half an hour out in the gym, and then they half an hour they teach you how to golf.
Oh yes, I know who you're talking about. Yep.
I took that class there, and I stopped for a while because I had some surgery and I was very sick. And then when I wanted to go back, I didn't have the space. They had other people, and then came COVID. So yeah, they teach you how to golf, and I learned a little bit. I never golfed in my life. I was finally starting to learn how to hit the ball at least. Now I can't go back for a while, but yeah, it used to be Return to Golf, and now it's called The Turn.
Yes.
Good program. A really
Oh yeah.
I haven't been able to go, But yeah, the kayak was more fitting than
That's good then.
yeah. Once they fit it, if you're a real hard fit, they won't let anyone else in your kayak.
Nobody else gets to touch it.
Not if it takes 3 hours to fit you. Yeah.
There are adaptive seats and paddles and things that you can
Yeah.
get and purchase for the kayak. There is a business organization in Lorain County that has a couple of single kayaks and then one tandem kayak that has a special seat inside of it where you can have the lateral supports around your hips. And then if needed, there's a taller seat that can attach to have the lateral supports like right under your armpits as well. If you're worried about tipping the kayak over, there are outriggers that can go onto the back of the boat.
Yeah.
Sit pretty stable. I actively tried to tip myself in a kayak with outriggers on, and I could not. And then if you need special grips, there's different paddles that you can slide your hands in that have a stronger grip. And then if needed, there's an attachment that can hook onto the floor of the kayak to bring like a tripod type of thing out to put the paddle on if you can't hold it to paddle. So it'll hold it up and you just have to paddle it. It's quite awesome how many adaptations there are out there. There's a transfer bench. There is a wheelchair chariot is what it's called, where the kayak sits on wheels and you are transported into the water from there. I go every week pretty much during the summer. So
So where's that located?
that is in Lorain, Ohio, in Lorain County
Oh.
on the west side of Cleveland.
I
Okay.
want to kayak.
The Cleveland Metro Parks also has a adaptive kayaking program as well. I don't know exactly where they launch and what body of water they paddle on, so you would have to just kind of Google search for the Cleveland Metro Parks adaptive kayaking program. They also do some hand cycling as well for those interested in hand cycling.
All right.
What else do we want to do? What else do we want to get outside to do when it's not 8 to 12 inches of snow coming? Or inside sports. What else do we want to do inside?
You named a lot. Definitely interested in the hand cycling.
That's awesome to hear. We definitely can get information to you about the dates that we have and the programs for it.
I've thought of buying my own, definitely because I'm so close to the trail, and I love bicycling, so I'm sure I would love hand cycling.
And if that's something you're interested in, we can help with that order for you.
Cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
Say, and if anybody is in a situation where they can transport their own hand cycle, the chapter does own 7. And during the season, we will loan a hand cycle out to someone for 30 days at a time.
So that's awesome.
That's another possibility as well.
And then to kind of follow up on that, so when we do have our hand cycle hunts, we send out one of those kind of Google forms that were shown on the screen earlier. And there's an option to say, bring your own, so that we can know that we'll have to count that attendee as one of the hand cycles that we have. So that's great to know that you guys have that, Megan.
Yes.
Yeah. Woot, woot. Whoops.
Yeah, the hand cycling we had through 4 or 5 sessions once it got warmer out. And the funniest part was it was probably the few of our most competitive athletes that were there that just came because they wanted to just chill and get some exercise in. And probably went, I think one of the nights that we went like 17 miles at one of the Metro Park trails. They just kept going, wanted to go. And I rode a bike with them, but just they love it. It's relaxing. It's especially on a nice evening. They really much enjoyed it. So it's definitely a nice change of pace from the competitive sports that they play and are used to, where they're like, this is awesome to kind of just mellow out and get a good exercise in.
I don't know what I did, sorry.
What you do?
Now, oh no. I don't know
Ooh,
what I did.
What you do?
I'm not sure what I did. None.
I don't think you did anything.
But I have a screen. It's not right. Half my screen says adapted sports and you're on the other half.
Oh, I see.
oh, split screen.
I don't know how you get out of that.
Draw your finger over the screen.
I don't know. View options. I don't know. I'll just leave it like that, I guess.
And the chapter does have 2 kayaks. They are not adapted, hopefully yet. But so you would, if you did want to borrow one of the kayaks that the chapter owns, you would have to buy the foam and create your own seat. So we do have those for the extreme go-getters, but we are hoping that we are asked to submit a grant in order to make some adaptations and kayaking outings possible. So I think we're supposed to find out in another month or so. So stay tuned for that.
Exciting.
Yes.
You, what's it called when you're on there's a college teams are on the river and they're all row, stroke, stroke, stroke. And they're all rowing in this long skinny boat.
Oh, I think that's just called rowing. I think it's just the sport. I think. Yeah.
I think so.
That'd be fun. I always wanted to do that.
I've seen it. I've seen I forget where I was, but like a race, and it's intense.
I think it's called synchronized rowing.
Probably.
That'd be fun. But it a lot more people.
I actually did the hand cycling. Besides the kayaking, I did the hand cycling. And that was pretty cool. I just had nowhere around me I could do it. But if it's the right season, I'm gonna find a place I could go so I could borrow one.
I can definitely help you with that. We have hand cycles that you can use, and we can go out to a trail once it's nice out.
Yeah. I mean, my mom could pick one up. That's not a problem. I live right around the corner from her. She does a lot of my shopping and a lot of things I can't do.
So I have a question. If you had like very poor strength, like would a certain sport not be made for me, or like all sports would be adaptive for very low core strength?
They can all be adapted for that.
Okay.
Yes. Is there a particular sport you're most interested in or want to try?
I'm kind of looking. I really like the hand cycling, and then I'm kind of like up in the air. But I really need to get moving again.
Yeah, no, we have every range of ability level of our athletes, so that wouldn't be. I don't want you to think you can't be steered away from any sport because of that. So we can adapt anything that we have.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
Where are you located at?
So I'm located in Warrensville Heights, but we also have an office in Worcester and Youngstown.
How close is Youngstown to Warren?
I think it's fairly close.
Cool.
I think Warren is closer to Youngstown than it is to Cleveland. So if that's where you are, I can get your information over to our Youngstown manager to discuss programs.
Did you get that through Megan or not Megan? Yeah, Hammond.
Yes, she can send me your contact info if you consent to that.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Any,
That's directly south of me on Route 11.
Can I change the subject?
does,
For-
before you do, is there any other sports related questions? Okay, go ahead, Jill.
Okay, did everybody get the announcement of the Superman conference? The
Christopher and Dana Reeve Foundation.
conference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay, because I'm very excited. One of the people who is speaking is one of my idols, Judith Human, I'm sorry. And she was instrumental in the Crip Camp movement and getting the ADA passed. So I'm very excited that she's going to be speaking. And also, there's another book. I'm sorry to be so booky, but what do you want? I'm a scholar. It's called What Can a Body Do? And it's how we meet the built world. And there's some wonderful, encouraging stuff about folks with disabilities. It's about how the world is not quite created for us. But I don't want to read this to you exactly, but I'm very up on here it says she's talking about how non-disabled people understand us. And then she says, even non-disabled people, few undisabled people have considered the lively form of negotiation that disabled people must make. Even fewer non-disabled people have considered the advantage of disability experiences has to offer them. And she talks about our shared knowledge, that we have particular knowledge that needs to be shared. And I think I think what she's saying is quite important, because it's a very different view of our abilities. And I really love it. And I would recommend, I will buy one for our library because I think it's fabulous and very humanistic. Okay, that's my scholarly take on it for the day.
Yeah, I wanted to say something. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, so I have a question. It doesn't have to do with today. A few days ago, I had to go out to a store and the closest bus is a while away. I'm in a power chair. I got in my chair and there was ice and there's snow on the sidewalk, so I had to go in the street. So I'm going in the street to get to the bus stop and I'm being careful, but some, they're major streets and I'm weaving my way around cars, being very, very careful. Anyway, a cop comes and he says, you can't be in the street. Actually, I was trying to cross. And he says, you're in the street, you have to be careful, you can't cross here, and he crosses me. So here's my question. What am I supposed to do? I can't go on the sidewalk in my chair because there's ice and snow. I can't go in the street because it's supposedly dangerous, but I can't lock myself up in my home the whole winter. I have things I have to do. So as a person who uses a power chair, what am I supposed to do in the winter? Am I supposed to stay home the whole winter? Should I not go anywhere? What am I supposed to do if I can't go on the sidewalk, but I can't go in the street? What am I supposed to do?
I have an idea. I think the chapter ought to meet with the police or whoever is controlling the streets and talk about these particular issues that are specific to people who are in wheelchairs. And how do we resolve these issues? Because it's, I think it's a very real problem that could be solved.
Yeah.
So I would suggest that we have a couple people meet with, I think the police would be happy to do it. Or we could make them happy to do it.
Nothing's been talked about before in all these years. Handicapped people have to go out in the winter. Nobody's heard anything about this. Am I the only person in a wheelchair who's ever tried to go out in the winter?
You're probably one of the bravest.
I have a suggestion. Ask the police officer to escort you across the street.
Yeah, but it wasn't just crossing the street. He caught me crossing the street, but I said to him, what am I supposed to do getting anywhere? Because it's also going anywhere. I have to go in the street.
Yeah. I think, is there an office, does the mayor have an office that works with issues around disability in the city?
The ADA?
I don't know. I'm a foreigner. What do I'm from New York.
Every municipality should have a ADA coordinator at City Hall.
They probably do.
Well,
I would definitely reach out to them.
yeah, I think we should. And any other issues that have to do with city, the city arrangements for us. I'm so used to New York City where they're very thoughtful about disability. And I have not found the same thing here. So I'm used to making noise about it. But I would be very happy to meet with somebody else with the Office of Disability if we have an agenda.
I'll talk with them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got a big mouth, right?
Yes, I realize.
I've heard that there are some communities that are very proactive with handicapped folk. I don't remember, there's a couple of them near Coward County and they do a lot of stuff for handicapped people because the people go to the council meetings and they get involved in the government. So since they're a part of the government, the police and everyone is beholding to help them. And they have buses and stuff and just a lot of apartment buildings just for handicapped people. And I wished I knew down at that place in Warren, Living LIC or something, they told me about those communities. I don't remember where they are.
But that's a good idea. I mean, I go to the community board meetings and make some noise about when there's issues related to disability. And they seem to listen. And they're right, I'm near the hospital, so they're thoughtful.
Nice. Hey, Megan,
Yes.
I've got some questions. Do you ever send out a questionnaire to our members? Since I'm still trying to find a wheelchair company that I'm going to be satisfied with, I've got, I don't know, 10 questions that would be really cool if could be sent out and people would maybe want to answer about their relationship with the wheelchair company, if they're happy with it, what are the favorite things they have on their wheelchair, and what are the least favorite features on their wheelchair, just to give new people, newly whatever, is some information because it's such a, I have the need. Do you do stuff like that? Can we do stuff like that?
Yeah, I can. We've sent out different Google forms before asking questions about like monthly meetings and stuff. So if you want to email me those questions, I can set something up to
Do we
email.
have a chat room? Also,
Do that because
does the chapter have a place where we can, people have questions like Rona, and other members could perhaps be very helpful.
well, we don't have anything specific or formal. We could build that if we need to, but if anybody has questions or anything that they're struggling with, you can email us at unitedspinalneo@gmail.com, and I'll put that into the chat here in a second. It's in all, or respond back to any of the monthly meeting emails. Asking the questions. Next month, we are going to have another like social hour kind of what works type of thing.
Yay.
And so that would be a great opportunity to do that. So if anybody has anything they would like to talk about next month during this social hour, call, email it. I don't think it's going to be anything formal, but if we have, a couple of different topics or a couple different like subtopics to one general theme or general topic, that would be great.
Great.
That would be, I do think that would be great, because one of the topics I wrestle with all the time is the issue of stigma.
What?
Hey, Megan, this is Mark. Is there anybody on the call that can help Rhonda out? I mean, is there a person that has good subject matter expertise in what she's trying to talk to help her guide through this? I gave her a couple names that she already knew, but we were trapped in a workflow from Metro. In other words, it was all transparent to us. The wheelchair popped up. We really didn't have too much to say about it. But does anybody else on the call have a company or somebody that they trust that gave them good advice that they could just give Rhonda a number to call? Or are all of them bad?
Is that something that the Gerson Center might be able to, arrange also? Work on with members here? Where do you get good information about wheelchairs, home care, stuff like that?
Home care, jeez.
What?
That's another good question. Caregivers.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Hey,
know.
Rhonda, are you looking for a specific wheelchair company?
Yeah.
Okay, I know the one I have is from Miller's, and they're located in Akron and Cleveland, I believe. And they would help answer questions you may have about wheelchairs.
I think that's Megan's too, Miller's.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm not sure what else is out there, but in our area, but I think.
I get one of the issues I think is very important is we all have knowledge about certain kinds of things we need and things we've used. How do we share that with one another? So we can even be more useful.
What about on Facebook?
Support groups.
Is Facebook confidential?
No.
All the support groups on Facebook are private.
Say our Facebook page is not private, not confidential. So if you post something in that group in that it's not, I guess it's not technically a group. It's a page that you like and follow. I believe you can post things on there, ask questions. If you can't, email us, let me know. Then I can see what I can do to make it so that can happen. But Facebook can be something that we can ask general questions, you know, what companies are out there. I know of 3 companies. Well, 4. I've heard good and bad things about all of them. So it's my experience and what people have personally told me. There's really not a good one out there. Some are better than others in different areas. So it all depends on
Megan,
you, how
it's
much.
so useful. Your information is so useful. But the question for me is, how do we get it disseminated, and how do we get the questions confidential? I don't want anybody in the rest of the world knowing a lot of things about me. They already know too damn much.
How do we get it out there? We're building an email list. We are putting things on Facebook. Other than that, and other social medias. Other than that, I don't know. You tell me.
I don't know. I'm like a computer dummy, but there are other organizations that must do that kind of sharing. And I could find out. I mean, I can explore. I can see if any of my buddies back in New York have any suggestions, and or better yet, get in touch with some of the groups here. I think that would be one way to do it. Find out how they do it, if they do it.
I don't know much about Facebook at all, but my church, I liked it and had their page up and stuff. They invited me to their private group.
Oh, wow.
And it's just for then private is just for these certain members that are invited to go into it. And everyone can tell who the other one is. The names are available, I guess, someplace on there. But how private it really is, I don't know, because it is Facebook.
If it's on Facebook, it is not private.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. If it is on the internet, it is not private.
Thanks, Mary.
Yes. But yeah, we are hoping that these social hour meetings can help bring community networking, bounce ideas off of another. So email us if you have any specific topics, questions, things like that. But we're over the hour, so we're going to end it tonight anyway. But thank you all for coming, sticking around. Lizzie, thank you again for joining us and letting us know all about these sporting activities. I will be sending out this replay by the end of the week. Elizabeth and Dina, I will email you guys to answer your questions that you sent me. So I see them. I'm not leaving you hanging on that. I'll get you an answer. But yeah, thank you all for coming tonight. Next month is March 15th. It's the social hour, like I've already mentioned.
March? Oh dear.
Oh boy.
Until then, if you guys need anything from us,
I do.
Email, and we will talk to you guys later. Have a great night.
You too. Thank
Thanks,
you.
Megan. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.